When Jesus came to the earth as a baby and grew up and became a man on earth, God in the flesh, he did lots of amazing miracles. Uh, all over the place, he was doing miracles all the time. And he did these miracles so that he could glorify God and he could show all the people that he wasn't just another man who was a great teacher and a great healer, but he was actually God himself on earth as a human. And he did the miracles also so he could take care of his people. Our memory verse is Psalm chapter 40, verse 5, and we were supposed to memorize a little bit of it last week. You were supposed to have memorized it saying, Psalm chapter 40, verse 5, you have multiplied, O Lord my God, your wondrous deeds and your thoughts toward us. None can compare with you. I will proclaim and tell of them, yet they are more than can be told. So last week, I asked you to try to memorize this part that said, you have multiplied, O Lord my God, your wondrous deeds. This week, I want you to add to that and keep and memorize, and your thoughts toward us. None can compare with you. And say the whole beginning together. Say, you have multiplied, O Lord my God, your wondrous deeds and your thoughts toward us. None can compare with you. Because no one can compare with God. Because he is God. And he is the only one who is worthy and just and perfect. But we can know God. God will take care of us. And perfectly take care of us like he did through his miracles. Last week, we talked about how Jesus calmed the storm that was way too big for those disciples. And he can take care of us and he can control nature in that way. But not only can Jesus protect us from dangers and protect us from harm, Jesus can take care of our needs. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So one day, Jesus was with his disciples and they were healing all sorts of people that came to them, and they were teaching him, Jesus was teaching all the people about God's kingdom, and Jesus had come to rescue them. They were so busy, and so many people, that Jesus and the disciples, they didn't even have time to eat. They went a whole day like that. They were so tired from helping people all day. I bet that they were even a little grumpy, his disciples. Jesus wasn't grumpy because Jesus never sinned. But they were tired and sleepy and hungry. And so they set off across the Sea of Galilee to a place where there was nobody at, so that they could get some rest. But guess what happened? When they got to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, the people had all ran and heard where they were going. So when they got there, the crowd was already there. 5,000 men and a whole bunch of women and children too were at the other side waiting for them. What do you think you would think if you saw those disciples? Oh no, we just ran away from those people. How come they're here now too? Not Jesus though. Jesus had mercy and he had compassion on the people. So they had another long day again where they were just healing the people and teaching the people about God again until it started to get into late. And then the disciples went and they told Jesus, you've got to send these people away. They need to go eat and we need to eat and sleep too sometime. We got to sleep sometime. And Jesus said, no, you don't need to send them away. Give them something to eat. Even a year's salary of work wouldn't be enough to feed all those people. The disciples said, we can't do it. You're crazy, Jesus. All we got's like 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Like, that's enough for maybe 2 people. But we have over 5,000 people. Not even everybody can have a teensy bit. But Jesus said, just trust in me and bring me the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes and get all the people to sit in groups of around 50 people. So all the people went and sat in the grass. And Jesus took the little bitty bit of food for all these thousands of people, and he blessed the food. And then he broke it and he gave a little piece to one disciple, a little bitty piece to one disciple. And he handed off little bitty pieces, and then the disciples would look at this little piece, and Jesus said, okay, give it to the people. That disciple didn't even have enough food for himself with that little bitty piece of bread. But they broke it up, and they started handing it to all the people, and the people started to eat, and they kept on eating and eating until they were so full they couldn't even eat anymore. And then Jesus told them to collect all the leftovers so that they wouldn't waste anything. And there were 12 baskets of leftovers. Jesus turned all that little bitty food into food enough to feed 5,000 men. This was a crazy miracle. What we learn in this story is that Jesus can always provide for you. Sometimes it seems like you will not have enough and that you won't be able to make it. But Jesus can always provide for you. And much bigger than that too. I want you to turn in your Bibles to John chapter 6, verse 35. The truth is that Jesus can provide for your physical needs. And that was evidenced in our story today, where there was no food. But Jesus still gave them food and performed a miracle so that they could eat and they could nourish their bodies. But Jesus is also going to nourish our needs, our spiritual needs, the needs of our soul. In John chapter 6, verse 35, Jesus says, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me shall not hunger, and whoever believes in me shall never thirst. The truth is that Jesus can provide for our spiritual needs and the needs of our soul, the deep needs that we have inside and we feel. Jesus can provide for those because Jesus is what we need. All we have to do is just like what the people did in our story today. They didn't have enough, and the truth is, we don't have enough. We don't have enough to make ourselves happy, and we never will. Not even the richest person has enough to make them happy. But Jesus asks us to bring what little we have and what little we're in control of, even if you don't have very little control and you can't change anything. Just look at the little thing that you have. Bring it to God. Give it to Jesus completely and watch him perform a miracle in your life, because he will every single time. When you bring what little you have, give it completely to Jesus and trust him to perform a miracle in your life. And all we have to do then is keep trusting Jesus and watch and see what he does